Yo everybody, it's He Override. So let's get to it. Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? This is Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
What's going on, man? That confused me. I didn't get the countdown.
No, I didn't get the countdown either. I didn't
get the countdown. It confused me.
Yeah, it's well, because Dr. Roto's actually doing. So everybody, welcome to the Fight Club of Pain. But as you're about to hear, Dr. Roto's doing a lot more of content on YouTube now. He's already put out multiple videos throughout the week following the free agency track. So I know that he said that when I get a little better, that he was going to pop in, talk to me about it, and make things happen. But I'm ready to make things happen for UFC Vegas 114 featuring Emmett versus Vallejos. Both really great fighters at the different ends of their career. So we'll talk about that. But man, how's your week been so far, brother?
Oh man, today was hectic, but the rest of my week has been pretty smooth, man. Like just kind of sailing on, man. How are you feeling?
All right. Well, every day I get better. So every day I can bend differently. So for people that don't know, I had hernia surgery last week. And unfortunately, because they said that because it was there from a childhood, that I had a lot more scarring tissue than normal. So instead of doing the scope, he had to actually open me up. So I actually have a nice slit, which changes a lot of things, but not the overall healing process. And honestly, my job is picking up cardboard boxes all day, half the week anyway. So I still have some time left. If I need to take a half day, take it easy. But I'm definitely going to ease my transition, and the team's going to be welcoming me back. So that's how it's been. But I've been able to push myself a little more. I driving's still a little different for me. So, I don't trust myself driving, but I do now that I'm off of the major pain pill.
Yeah.
But because I'm off of the major pain pill, now the actual pain is hitting me, which I'm used to a little bit of pain, so I'm not bad. The pain I can't get over is the nut throb pain. So there's no way to explain it. It's not like you got kicked down there, but I guess for everybody watching, that's kind of the idea of it. So that's practically what it'll catch you off guard. And then you're like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to go lay down. Right. But then most of the other time I'm doing good. So hopefully everything works and gets back on track. So that's the idea.
Absolutely, man. I hope you feel better. I've been texting you every day seeing how you're doing. So
yeah, I know you have. Even in this crazy with the NFL free agency hitting and just not being able to like really get into it. And then me just going, picking up a high at that time and then doing the hard hits review, just getting it out, getting it done, just because I was like, look, I'm going to try this now. Cause that was like practice for tonight.
Yeah. So, yeah. And can we pretend like our predictions didn't happen last week? Because it was just it was just an off the cuff week.
Yeah.
Like we just went off the top of the head.
Well.
It just went off the top of the head, and that card, it was terrible. Just to let you know, that card.
It was hard. It was hard card. I still went 8-4 overall, which wasn't bad, right? And we had some upsets. We had Luke losing. Was it Rodriguez? Like whatever Luke Fernandez, he lost, and he was tatting Bellato up. He was, he was tagging the shit out of him, and it just takes one punch, and there's nothing else to say.
And we had the BMF fight that was BMF stands for boring mother. Yeah, because that shit was terrible. Terrible.
A boring, monstrous fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? So people will go, I talked about it on Tuesday. Everybody's just mad about it. But then, of course, some bigger wigs in the UFC surrounded by the UFC go, well, maybe they should just have it be a certain special rules. And I'm like, well, then that's for a discussion at a different time. But as of right now, Charles Oliveira systematically took Max Holloway apart by getting him to the ground and just holding him there. But I got to say, everybody's talking all this shit. They need to go back and look at how Holloway was able to defend multiple submissions attempted in that, and to be able to be considered a striker but defend those is kudos to Max Holloway.
I agree, and I think this belt should be done away with. I said this last year. I'm not a big fan of the BMF belt. If it's a stand-up brawl, that should be a BMF belt. Nate Diaz made this belt for a reason, because
I agree.
He wants to stand in front of you and literally stalk and slap you until you quit. But now we got a boring fighter. I'm not saying Charles Oliveira is a boring fighter, but we have now a fighter that can be boring as the BMF champ. Do away with the belt.
Yeah. And you know what? There's a lot of people that probably feel that way now. And then we had this discussion last time that now he's calling out. He wants the winner of Gaethje and Topuria. Topuria already went on record and said that he's ready to end Justin. He's not going to show him pity like Holloway did, that he's just going to put him out of his misery. So that's practically what he's looking to do. That's something I've already said that's going to happen. We predicted it way before Gaethje actually won the belt, because we said if Gaethje wins this belt over Paddy Pimblett, that it's going to happen like this. And now we're set up with it. This is what we got. Now we have possibly Oliveira versus Topuria too, which then if he puts the belt up like you were talking about, then your boy Ilya Topuria would be the bad mother effer, and maybe we finally get that Holloway rematch. I don't know.
We're not getting a Holloway rematch. Holloway has 2 more fights to fight before he gets a title fight. He has to have 2 significant wins. And
I agree.
I don't think Justin Gaethje is a walk in the park for Ilya Topuria. A lot of people do. I think Justin Gaethje is going to look a little bit better than he did against Paddy Pimblett, because he will not have a staph infection this time.
Yeah.
He beat Paddy Pimblett with a staph infection. He was on medication for 10 days before the fight.
That's right. Sometimes fighters do dumb shit, and sometimes it works out in their favor.
I think he's going to look like he looked against earlier in his career, like he looked against Poirier. I think Topuria is going to want to take this to the ground, because he's going to get thumped by one of those Gaethje shots, and he's going to rethink his life moving up.
Yeah, I'm not saying, and I do agree that Gaethje can put out Topuria's lights. This can happen. This is why they have the fights. This is why they play the game, as they say. Because at any point, anything can happen. And just like going back to Oliveira and Holloway, it just shows that as somebody that has a skill set of Oliveira still makes him dangerous to put in practically control 5 rounds of action on the mat, therefore, thus winning the belt. So when you go on.
He wanted no parts of Max on the feet. No parts of it.
No.
Within 25 seconds of every round, they were Max was flat on his back.
Yeah,
he wanted no parts of Max on the feet.
And that's the thing that when going back to the Topuria versus Oliveira, when Oliveira got Topuria on the ground immediately, right out from the go, I was like, oh, this is what he needed. But then somehow they popped up. And I was like, oh no. And then he went to go meet him in the middle, and eek, not out. That's what happened. So for me, that's exactly what the future could be for that. Now we have RDR trying to give everybody donuts because he's moving up to light heavyweight. Any thoughts on that?
It's because he can't cut weight no more, man. He's sluggish when it hits the second round. It looks like he cannot throw a punch. My daughter throws combinations better than RDR when he's tired.
I agree with you.
His punches are so slow, and it feels like it tires him out.
Yeah.
Most fighters, when they throw a punch, even a jab, it doesn't. Everything looked labored beyond 3 minutes in the first round.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It still looks like he definitely has cardio issues. So maybe this move is finally somebody saying to him, let's just stop these bad weight cuts and let's go with something that we know that we can trust, that we can do. So I feel that right there alone is where we're at with that. I'm down with it. I'm down. Let's have fun with it, right?
I don't see him taking down anybody in that weight class, though.
See
that top 5 of that weight class will destroy RDR.
Yeah, and this is one of those moves where you could almost see, like, I'm not saying that he could get this fight, and I don't know if it's good, but you could see where, like, maybe Juice Box has like an RDR, but since RDR just fought in that would be happening a long time from now. Juice Box is most likely going to get a match in between that, but I can see this, that kind of being the route that RDR and Juice Box need to make. And then, we have to go back to the Gorilla. You're in Salty Baldy. He's going to be fighting, in this time period too. So he's still in the mix for like a newcomer to the 205 division. And that's something that's really exciting for a lot of us. And, and then we've had other great things going on, Pereira moving up, now he's going to fight Saragon. We already know that you don't want to see that. There's rumors right now that Chaimov is going to be fighting Strickland, so if those are going to be proved, we're going to have it announced it. And Dana White's going live pretty soon during this or something like that, where he's going to be announcing some of the pay-per-views and some of the headlines, man. I'm a little excited about that. That was a lot to take in. Your thoughts on pretty much everything that I just talked about right there?
Well, you forgot one thing. Robert Whitaker's moving up to light heavyweight too. Robert Whitaker's moving up a weight class. So I can't wait to see him at light heavyweight. He fought at welterweight. He fought at middleweight, and now he's fighting at light heavyweight. He's always been in between light heavyweight and welterweight. That welterweight cut was just too much for him, and he wasn't very good welterweight.
Yeah,
but we see how he dominated for years in the middleweight division, and now he's moving up, and I could actually see him beating a lot of the people at light heavyweight. I don't see him as a top contender at the light heavyweight division. I think he's still too small. You got big boys in light heavyweight, man.
Yeah, you do, man.
You got dudes cutting from 260 down to 205 for one day and just ballooning back up to 240.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little crazy, man, when you get into the light heavyweight. I mean, you're looking at, Ankalaev, of course. You have Olberg up. Oh, no, he's moving up to. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they already have him on there.
Yeah, Olberg's at 205. Olberg's at 205.
Yeah. They already put him up there. Roundtree's already up there. They put him above Jan Blachowicz, Mirzakhanov, Hill, Guskov, Odesmir.
Not Roundtree. I said Whitaker, Robert Whitaker.
Oh yeah, dumb being an idiot, bro.
Bobby Knuckles.
Yeah, but that's where he's going to be doing. He's going to be people like Zhang Ming Yang, Dustin Jacoby, Johnny Walker. These are all people that he's now going to be taking on. That's what I was getting at. Sorry, I'm still under a lot of medicine.
No worries, man. No worries. I got you.
I know you do. That's what makes us so great. So, all right, we talked a little bit about it. UFC news. We pretty much at this point, let's get to it. Let's get to UFC Vegas 114. Emmett versus Vallejos. Let's start it off with the first fight we're going to cover. We've got Andre Tachifile. Man, he was a soup can one time. Versus Jose Delgado. I love that dude's name. He's like the best name ever. Honestly, Jose Delgado. He should come be a wrestler, man. Everybody, I would be a fan of that. Dan, talk about it.
So Delgado, man, I'm going to start with him. He's 3-1 in his last 4 fights, but he's coming off his lone UFC decision loss. He's a proven finisher with 10 wins in his career coming by finish within the first 2 rounds. He has power in every strike, but he hasn't faced a seasoned vet yet like Andre Fili. He's an underrated wrestler, and he has good cage control ability. Andre Touchy Fili, man, he's 1-1 in his last 2 fights, but neither have been great showings for him. He has a split decision win, which is too close for me to call. Um, he has veteran experience at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
He's a layered striker, and he uses his jabs, feints, kicking, and distance control to counter straight line fighters like Delgado. He's a sneaky good grappler and has a couple submissions on his win record.
Right. I love it, man. And the one thing I love that you talked about, you called Elijah Wood in that Delgado fight. I took Delgado. You took Elijah Wood in that fight. And it was close. It was a close fight. But I thought that, of course, the mat action is where Wood was able to separate it with Delgado. And we have, as you were talking about with Fili, that's an option for him that he should and should try to actually get him down on the ground, because that's there's good, I got something for that. But at the same time, that is a clear path to victory for Fili. For Delgado, it's all action, all gas, no breaks. See, this man is since I started my UFC journey with you and the Fight Club of Pain, the one thing I have loved, and the person I loved watching fight, has been Jose Delgado. And I've been a huge fan of his as well, too. So I'm looking for more for that. And this is going to be one of those things where if he can dominate Fili, maybe even get a knockout, then now we're going to start looking at Delgado maybe getting pushed to the upper ranks and actually starting to maybe get a ranked fighter that can then maybe propel his career. That's what I'm hoping, but I definitely agree with that. Was there something else after that you wanted to add to this fight?
I mean, Andre Fili, he's touch and go, man. He really is. Sometimes he shows up and he looks like a world beater, but sometimes he shows up and he looks like an amateur. It depends on what Andre Fili shows up in this fight. But I do think Fili has the chin to last against Delgado, because Delgado has power, but Fili has fought stronger fighters like Cub Swanson and Jose Aldo.
Yep. Yeah, you are correct about that. So, of course, of the 3 fights we're covering today, mostly I'm going to say 2 are going over, 1's going under. Now, even the one that goes under could probably be an over just because of what it is, and we'll get to that, of course. But this is one of the fights that I have going over, of course. So let's get to some of the numbers that we got. Distance, no, actually is a negative 270. So the sport books think that the Delgado action is too much to overlook and that he should be able to get a knockout. Knockout for both fighters is negative 140, sub plus 460, points plus 195. The way you're thinking, this is going to be one of those things where if you take the points in a few of these matches right at the end of the pay-per-view, you could get a really nice parlay, maybe 15, 20, 100. Put down a couple dollars on it, you're winning 40, 50 bucks off of some easy stuff that people might not think that happens. But this is how we're going to cover it. Moneyline and distance, no, for Delgado is a negative 168. Moneyline distance, yes, is a plus 321. Again, going back off of those points, I love that action. I'm going to be playing that. Decision, no bet, though, is a negative 650. The sport books don't trust it, and they even put the rounds at 0.1 or 1.5 for a plus 108. Now, here's how I'm rolling. I love Delgado knockout, plus 110, but I think Delgado knockout points at negative 195 gives you the best action, the best bang for your buck, literally bang for your buck, and you can cover both ways. So, and I love his first and second round knockout. I think he's going to have to bring it to Fili, and if he's going to get a chance at the top ranks, he needs to show that he's ready for that. So I'm going to hit that as well, too. I'm also hitting, of course, the knockout and sub. And then, of course, his sub first and second round is 650. Delgado got it in him. But sometimes when you see something, you throw down a quarter of a unit. It happens, at least you're covered. But I like that action. We're going to hit Fili for a second, and then we're going to flip it back to you, of course, like the duck. So I think if Fili, like you were talking about, his decision, no bet at plus 330, I like it. If you're going to play something that's going to be on the Feely side, play that, and then play money line distance. Yes, at plus 486. You're covered. Have it. Watch the fight. His knockout and sub is plus 600. Knockouts plus 700. But his sub in the second and third round, which brings up the fact, this is why sometimes what I love about our show is that you bring your notes. We don't talk about it much. You bring your notes, and then you hear that the actual finish is directed towards what you were just talking about. The late finish, sub second to third round for Feely is a plus 4,500. So I have me a little action on that as well, too, because it's worth it. What are the numbers telling you, Dan?
It's telling me that everything is going towards Delgado, but Feely's a savvy vet, man. People got to watch out for him. I'm not a fan. I watched him beat one of my favorite fighters of all time in Cub Swanson, which it was a split decision, and Cub Swanson won that fight. It was a few months ago, and we covered it. Well, actually, it was about a year ago, but he lost that fight against Cub Swanson. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a savvy vet, and he's quick. And like I said, with those layered strikes, especially a forward-coming fighter like Delgado, his jabs and feints might be too much for Delgado. And this has me like torn on my pick.
I love it. Well, because that's the next question. Dan, who do you have winning, and what is the method?
I think it's going to be a really close fight. I think Delgado wins by split decision.
Split decision. So, of course, money line distance, yes, is a plus 321. You got that right there. Of course, Delgado, which is going to be crazy because we were just talking about, Delgado point is plus 400. I love that as well, too, in that action. And then sometimes, I mean, it's still early, but sometimes they actually have those ranks out. You can actually get the split decision. That's not up right now. Dan, let me grab that. You can tell that we do this live because the earpiece flies out during the actual thing. So
I'm always fidgeting with my wires. So
that's why I went with this thing, but this one actually got me. So everybody gets a laugh on that one. That's why I love doing live TV, man. Hopefully got. But yeah, so there's a lot of points to be made. I agree with you on this. Delgado is my pick. Knockout and points is what I'm playing on. Plus 195. So you get the knockout and points. This fight goes the distance. There's more money to be made on the distance. Like I said, plus 195. That could be part of a parlay. And we got it, man. All right. Well, as a little switch up and as part of the co-main event, we got the actual highlighted of the fight next. And let's get to it. In this corner, we have Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. Dan, talk about it.
Am I doing my fighter or am I talking about the whole fight?
Dan, defend your fighter.
All right.
You can see I'm not 100.
All right. So Robertson, man, you gave me Robertson this week. She's the number one. She's the number 10 strawweight in the world, and she's won 6 of her last 7, riding a 4-fight winning streak, all by stoppage. Dude, she is a BJJ savant, and she uses different techniques in every fight. Did you know she competes in grappling tournaments at least once a month? She's always evolving her skill set, and her stand-up gets better with every fight. She knows how to get inside the pocket and throw a combo and transition to a takedown.
We're talking about Amanda Lemos, the underdog in this fight. 15-5-1. She's 2-3 in her last 5 wins, with 3 of her losses coming to Wheelie, Jandaroba, and Suarez. She did beat Dern, and she did take down another fighter, making her up-and-coming starts Lucinda. So After punking Lucinda, she then lost to Tatiana Suarez. But in each fight that she has, Lemos comes forward and tries to make it dirty. Her only match, my client's only chance, is to make this dirty. That has led to the fight of the night 2 times in her career, with a performance of the night 1 time. She also holds most knockdowns in the strawweight division at 6 knockdowns. She is tied for second with Denise Gomes with 3. She fights for the Mariala brothers team. This is Amanda Lemos' time to shine, because if my client doesn't, she's going to have to go back. But in her wins, she is active and she owns the takedowns. She's going to have to go into deep waters and beat your client Robertson on the ground to secure the win. Dan, this fight's going to be amazing. Maybe another fight of the night. How do you see it playing out?
I do not see Lemos doing anything against Robertson on the ground. Robertson's way too good on the ground. Like that's her specialty.
Yeah.
If Lemos is going to win this fight, it's going to be standing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So I'm going to hit the numbers real quick, because honestly, we know the path to victory. Distance no is a plus 114, knockout to plus 380, subs a plus 250, points is negative 155. This is the other fight I said is most likely going under. Under 2.5 rounds is a plus 138. Now, moneyline distance, yes, this is a fight that you can make money on all over the facts. On the Jillian Roberts side, moneyline and distance, yes, is plus 155. Distance no is plus 178. So if you think that she's going to play, you literally just can play 1 unit on moneyline distance, yes, and then a half a unit or 75% of a unit on distance, no, and you actually have the whole fight covered on the Robertson side for a positive, as opposed to her negative 200 money line. Decision no bet is a negative 260. I do like the action on that. Let's get a little rowdy though. Second round sub is a plus 1100. The number for this fight is second round. Why? Knockout and sub is plus 195. Second to third round sub. Lemos, my client that I defended this week, is going to definitely try to do her best and use all of her energy defending the takedowns in the first round. In Robinson's career, she has been outstriking or near striking with all of her opponents that you have just talked about that she has ran through in her division. However, Lemos is not putting out that upgrade. When Lemos wins, she's only getting outstruck, but still getting outstruck by a few. So that is why the first round may be off for a finish. We're going to go late in this one. Second, third round sub for Robertson is a plus 700. First and second's a plus 440. I've got knockout for second and third round plus 1600, because I feel that if once Lemos gasses, that she's then going to be vulnerable, and Robertson is going to try to make that statement because she's trying to take over Lemos's 5th spot. For Lemos, moneyline distance, yes, is plus 260. She outworks her. She outgrinds her. You just said it. There's no way that Lemos is outgrinding Robertson on the ground. I agree with you. Decision no bet, plus 158. Lemos got to get in there, get it done. The only thing I'm playing on Lemos' side, and I'm putting down a quarter of a unit, is on first, second round knockout plus 1,000. But if you want to get wild, and crazy shit happens all the time, third round knockout for Lemos is plus 3,300. So I wanted to just spit that out there, talk about that, throw in about Robertson actually being a higher volume puncher than Lemos. Do you think that that's just going to be a pure domination by Robertson?
I don't think it's going to be a domination on the feet, but as soon as Robertson grabs her, I think it's going to be complete domination. Lemos can stand, and she's a very active fighter on her feet, and she uses her movement very well. She tends to outpace people, but she also tends to fade in the later rounds because she's always throwing. She does gas a little bit in the late second to third round.
So that kind of sets up those finishes. I am hitting, as you can see, I'm hitting the Robertson side hard. Honestly, the DFS, I'm surprised the DFS sites are giving Robertson's price so low. She's like, literally, I would be surprised if Robertson wasn't on 70% of the lineups come Saturday, because her last 3 fights have been all over 100 points on DK alone.
Yeah.
That is insane. And this is finishes, people. We're talking takedown, multiple takedowns, which on DK are 5 points per takedown. You take somebody down 4 or 5 times, and you put that person in the captain. Not saying there is a captain option on DK, but this is something you could definitely exploit. But I just feel like I wanted to get a little action on Limos' side, so I threw in that. But I have all of it. This is a fight you can make money off on both sides, no matter what happens for either fighter. And like I said, you could just play the decision money lines, yes or no. You could go over to Limos' side, decision no bet, money line distance yes at plus 260, and you have positive. Whatever happens, you win. You just have to get the unit right. And when you get your unit right, but that's where combining all the other stuff and getting what you need. Dan, who do you got winning, and by what method?
I've had it written down since the first time this fight was scheduled, which was months ago. I have Robertson winning by second round submission.
Woo! Second round submission plus 1100. We both love that right there. That's why I'm playing all of that action on that. And another thing too is that sometimes you don't even have to be crazy. I've noticed that some of the sport books will slip on the alt round betting. So Jillian Robinson right now, first, second round is a plus 270, but the third round finish and a decision is also a plus 123 or 125. So I like that you get the little option to go late. But right now, honestly, we both have this going down. I'm playing sub and points at negative 150 on the Robinson side. I feel that she can get done, but I have all that action for Robinson that no matter which way, if she finishes Limos, I'm going to make money. And if it does go the distance, that plus 159 that I got is going to make me all of my money back, because that's how it's going to go. Right?
I agree.
Oh, dude, it's going to be a dominant fight. So, all right, well, let's move along to the main event. In this quarter, we have the savvy vet, the guy that doesn't know how to stop, because one punch from this man can make you stop for a half a second while he raises his hands in win. Josh Emmett. In this corner, we have a newcomer, a man that may be undersized, but no matter the fight, the dog is always on Kevin Vallejos' side. At this time, he's the favorite. Dan, talk about it.
All right, I'm going to start with Josh Emmett this time, man, because Josh Emmett is 1-4 in his last 5 fights, which means he's lost 4 out of his last 5, bro. He's 40 years old, and he's slowing down tremendously. But every loss he has come from the top 10 of the division. He hasn't lost from anyone outside of the top 10, but I think he has gas left in the tank. And since he's still considered one of the hardest hitters in all of the UFC, no matter what happens, he always has a puncher's chance. One punch from this guy can knock the lights out. Vallejos, he's 17-1, and he's coming off a beautiful spinning back fist knockout of Giga Chikadze. He has youth, power, and momentum on his side. He has 12 knockouts in his 17 MMA fights. He's an amazing boxer. He has great head movement, and his ability to pressure with a mix of head and body shots is spot on. He has precision and power to give. He has the precision and power to give Emmett a very long or short night. He's well-rounded, and he prefers to stand and bang.
Woo! I can't think of a better way to present 2 other fighters than what you exactly said. And I'm just actually, because I don't have too many numbers on this fight. Distance, no, negative 215, knockout plus 135, sub plus 600 points, plus 160, under 3.5 rounds. Love that number. Plus, it's negative 118. Now, we're going to get knockout and sub. I'm telling you right now, the knockout sub is definitely, it's legit. Negative 150, knockout and points is negative 130. Moneyline distance, no, is negative 151. Decision, no bet, negative 700. Knockout for Kevin Vallejos is plus 110. However, in the actual, like I was talking about, fourth, fifth, and decision is a plus 110. So if you think this fight could go late, you get a finish in the fourth and fifth round because finally Emmett tires out. It goes banging. I'm telling you why I admit it. Because I love that sub second, third, and fourth round. I love that for plus 1,200 because I don't think Vallejos is going to get the sub off, but I wanted a little action. Over on Josh Emmett's side, it's knockout and points plus 450. Moneyline distance, no, plus 560. Decision, no bet, plus 440. Knockout, 800. Josh Emmett's only chance is to knock out Kevin Vallejos in the first, second, or third round for plus 1,200. But even the fourth, fifth, and decision, fourth, fifth round finish or decision for either fighter is plus 136. I bring this up because you so beautifully described this fight that these numbers actually can say what you said. You talked about Vallejos and the power that he can end this night early or put out more volume and be able to take and withstand that power, that late tire gassing of Emmett to get them points win. Why I love knockout and points, but negative 300, that's not going to give us the best points. However, I wanted action on that knockout because it has not been the first time that Emmett has caught a young prospect across the chin with those haymaker swings. And so for that, Dan, how do you think it's going to end up playing out?
I really like this fight. It's the old lion versus the young lion. I think Josh Emmett still has gas in the tank, and Josh Emmett is the only man in the UFC to take the number one or the number two pound for pound fighter in the world right now to decision.
Yeah.
He did not get knocked out like by Topuria, like Max Holloway, like everybody else. He took him and he rocked Topuria. Emmett has been finished multiple times in his career, but he's never been knocked out. He's always been finished by submission.
That's right.
He's never been finished by knockout. So people have to take that into account. And Vallejos has 0 submission wins on his record.
That's right. That's right. And that's why they're scared. These numbers for plus 1,200, they're only, that I brought up, they're only giving those numbers out because they're scared. They feel that he's going to go for that. And that's a possibility. But Vallejos isn't. This is going to be a stand and bang match. Right?
I agree. And it's not really smart to stand and bang with Josh Emmett.
And that is my opinion completely, even though it doesn't sway my pick, which of course, as at this point you already know, is going to be Kevin Vallejos.
Yeah. But
at the same time, I'm respecting that money I can make on the Emmett side with that knockout. If it just happens, if you play even if you just play decision no bet at plus 440, that alone right there tells me that I can get the action that I want from my fight for this fight. And for me, I'm willing to take that. But like you said, everybody's going to be playing knockout. I brought up knockout in points being a negative 300. So it's almost better to play the money line distance, yes, on the Vallejos side and think and feel. And this was the fight I was talking about. Everybody wants it to go under. It would look good for Vallejos for this fight to go under, but his ability the way he is as a fighter may not be enough unless he gets a good ground and pound started up to knock out straight up Emmett. And if he can't do that, he's going to get the points and this is going to go over and everybody's going to have the money on the under like you were talking about, correct?
Yep. I completely agree. Completely agree.
So who do you got winning and by what method?
So I was torn on this fight, and this is a really good fight. I have Vallejos winning by decision, but
All right.
there is a chance for a mid round Josh Emmett knockout.
I love that. And so that's like the premise. So right there, Vallejos money line, distance, yes, is a plus 201. If you actually want to just be safe on this fight, the plus 160 for points, it doesn't matter who wins. If you feel this fight's going over, it's a plus 160. But for me, I did hit that because I love that action and I only play big action. Of course, 25% of my unit on those things. But what you just said right there, even saying, is what we do on this thing. So people want to make money off of big hits. Well, you gave them that a couple weeks ago when you had your second round knockout plus 3,500. But the thing is the meaning of the parlay of pain, why we round robin that, is because we're teaching ourselves to hedge, win big and big, but to live to fight another day. And I think sometimes people go, okay, well, he's a great bettor, or are you following the method, the way that it works? It's kind of like when we had Ed on, and Ed doesn't watch sports. He has a method and he just bets it. Yeah. And he sees the numbers, and the numbers go, like we all know, March Madness on last year was the first year that everybody would just take unders. And because there'd be so many positives that when you put it all together, the positives are going to outweigh any of the favorites that are going to win, thus leading to huge money for all the bettors on that side. It didn't work last year, but in the years past, the numbers say that it does. That's the system that we try to teach at Dr. Roto and what we have installed on this show as opposed to any other show. Again, that's different. Everybody can give you second round submissions or stuff like that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to set you up for long-term success so that you have the money to take the chances on the plus 3,500, feeling froggy. Maybe that's you won $30 extra the week prior. You throw 30 on that. Now you're talking thousands. So that's what we're talking, right?
Exactly.
All right. And so for me, this is about the time, since we're fresh right off of these three fights, before we get into maybe a little bit more banter about this fight. We've been doing a community parlay. So let's throw together this 3-leg parlay right now. We'll do this live on the air. Fili Delgado, what's the safest pick, or how do you feel this fight's going? You think it's going distance?
Safest pick is Delgado by decision. A crazy pick is Andre Fili by second round submission.
Yeah, that. So the number of that crazy pick, submission second round for Fili is plus 5,000. So, I mean, a plus 5,000.
That's why I said it's a crazy pick. It's a crazy pick.
Crazy. And and this is where I will throw a damn core. I will throw 10 cents on that right now, because 10 cents wins $5.10. So this is where I'm talking about. We cover. If this happens, and with my knockout and sub plus 600, the sub second to third round plus 4,500 combines all. It doesn't matter. Like he goes, you just threw 10 cents down. Well, if you throw $1, you win $51. So throw $1 down. I will revisit this and I will hit this. So I like that you said points. And so we'll go method of victory. Delgado by points is plus 400. I love it. Woo! All right. Let's get to the second fight. Jillian Robertson. Do we want to go safe, or do we want to go in for that second round sub for the parlay?
I mean, you could take Robertson by points, which is safe. The crazy one would be Lemos by knockout.
Yeah. So Lemos by knockout, of course, is plus 7,500. But go on.
Yeah, that would be the crazy pick. But I don't think Robertson by second round submission is that crazy.
Okay, so do we play it safe with submission and points, or do we just put the second round submission straight up in there at plus 1,100?
Submission and points.
All right, we'll do that. Because I mean, submission and points. Oh, they try to hide it on me. It's a negative 150. All right, submission and points, and I'm actually I'll even backtrack and put that in there because I'll play this twice, honestly, because hell, I just took fourth place in a basketball tournament last night. Like I threw in literally $1.30, and I returned like $20, and I was literally 19th in the big. That one like 11.25, and I tied people, so my winning wasn't that. But if I would have won first place, I mean, that was just something that was crazy. So, all right, let's get to the last fight of this leg is going to be Josh Emmett and Vallejos. What do you think is one of the safer picks that we'll go with?
Vallejos by decision.
Vallejos by decision. I love it. It's another plus 240. So we definitely got that action right there. So right now, we're going to talk Delgado by points, Jillian Robertson by submission and points, and Vallejos by points, plus 400, negative 150, plus 240 is a 3-leg parlay of plus 2733. I'm definitely putting a half a unit on that. Of course, my unit's 5. I'm putting 250 on that. 250 itself right there will give you a return of over $70. You win 68.33. So for me, I think that this is plausible. A lot of the last few cards have been decision over. I didn't bring that up actually earlier in the podcast, but I had been talking about it. When I looked at it from a civil's point of view, I have of these 14 fights, I have 10 going over, four going under. When I reevaluated and I went for blood, I have 8 fights going over, 6 going under. So we'll see if those numbers are right and kind of see that we go like that. But I'm willing to put that action in there. Now, I did say I would mess around with this parlay because let's get all that. So like this, I love just making parlays because it's so fun and you can win a lot of money. Now we're going to add the Jillian Robinson second round submission. And that gives us the plus 1,100. Now brings the parlay up to plus 2,300, 20,300. So a quarter wins you $51, literally. So I'm going to take that action. If this happens and it hits a plus 20,300 for 2 fights that definitely could go distance and have clearly the better younger fighter make a choice for himself. And that can't be saying as much for Robertson too. This is the point of her career that this might be a do or die situation. She needs to start knocking out and subbing people. That gives us a lot of play on that, man. I love that play, man. Who doesn't love a plus 28 and a plus 20,000, Dan?
Nobody. Everybody loves it.
Right? I had to go back and at least try to throw in that as well, too. And I'm going to round robin that because if we miss on the Robinson hit and we just get points from Vallejos and Delgado, then we win. We win a plus 400 and a plus 240. We win that. So that right there alone is probably a plus 1,400, 1,300. So you'll win that. You'll win 13 times your money that you're putting in on the round robin. So for me, that's what we love here. But speaking of which, it's that part of the show where we get to some of our picks. Dan, who's your soup can of the week?
All right, my soup can of the week this week is Chris Curtis. He's 2-2-1 in his last 5, and his 2 victories were nothing special. 2 split decision wins means you basically lost, but a judge wasn't watching. The last few years haven't been great to Chris. He's won, he's lost, he's almost won, he's definitely lost. I'm taking Orobai to win and win significantly against Chris Curtis this weekend.
Do you think he knocks him out?
No, I think he wins by decision.
Yeah, I have it going the distance too. I have that winning by decision as well too. So those points, because a lot of people, it's actually a pull positive point. It's plus 145. even on how the fight will end as a negative 145 for either fighter. I love that you actually brought that up because I'll give out the DFS hero DK lineup of the week. And then when I get to mine, I'm going to weigh in on Chris Curtis because so here's your DFS hero play of the week. If you get over to DFS hero, use code word DOC, and you will get 20% off of your subscription. So you'll get your lineup optimizer. He actually has a parlay optimizer coming out as well too. I don't know if I'll break that, but he's got so much planned for everybody in the future that you can't doubt Tom over there. He's doing the job, and he is the partnership with them has been great. And also get to Dr. Rodriguez code word win and join. You become our first friend. There's so much going on this season with the addition of the YouTube presence by Doc and getting out more content. More content means more winning for all of you. And we have amazing, amazing seasonal football stuff from Dr. Roto, the IDP side, BMI side. So I wanted to get that all out. So here goes DFS hero. Oki, Silva, Robertson, Vallejos, Orobai, who you just talked about, and Rodriguez. Of course, that Rodriguez, she's fighting Sam Hughes at the beginning. Yeah. She already beat Sam Hughes. A lot of people. Sam Hughes is safe for DFS as well, too. I really do like that. Now let's get to my DFS lineup. I got Asplin. I love Asplin. He's trying to get revenge. He's trying to get his boy Tommy Boy revenge. And that's what he said. He said, this is personal with Petrino. He can beat Petrino. There's positive money on him, but I do like him, and I like him as a dog for DFS. All I need is Asplin to last 3 rounds. That's it. And give me 40 points. So Asplin, Rahiki, because Rahiki going to show you the way when he gets that knockout sub. We'll talk about that. Robertson. I love Elijah Smith. Elijah Smith is one. My dog is playing with the toy in the background. That Elijah Smith, Delgado, and your boy Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis just goes the distance. But I trust in Chris Curtis. He is literally like 7,400 on DraftKings. I get that out. I feel he's a key. And if I can get me 30, 40 points from Chris Curtis, and 30, 40 points, or a win from Asplin, I feel that I can change the slates. Do you feel that Chris Curtis can be that with the DFS slates?
Can he win this fight? Is that what you're asking?
7,100. I'm not. I mean, is there a possibility? But do you think he can go the distance like he normally does?
Oh yeah. I think this fight's going to go to distance, and I think he's going to score a good amount on DFS because he's going to land his shots and he's going to get his takedowns.
Yep. And so for that, I even say, even when he got knocked by Kopilov in the third round, dude had 57 points.
Yeah.
He was 7,100 like he was right now, 7,100. He got knocked out late, and he put out better than some of these people win.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why wouldn't I pay 7,100 for that?
I mean, Chris Curtis is not a slouch. He's not. He's not a bad fighter. The soup can of the week is different than saying you're a bad fighter. It's not.
Yeah, we know.
Like I'm not saying people are a bad fighter when I put them in there. I just think he isn't at the spot he was a few years ago, and he's not the fighter he was a few years ago. He's lost a few. He's won a few, and the 2 split decision victories that he has, kind of drew me towards him because if you can't win definitively, and you're already on a 2-fight losing streak, and you win by split decision, and you kind of lost that fight too.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that too. And so this is where he'll make his money if he can last, even if he gets, like I said, knocked out. 64 strikes in his last significant strikes in his last match. In the previous one, when he got knocked out, 142, 124, 140. When he could not continue was 26, 70, 36. And that's when he got knocked out, or that's when he knocked out Buckley. And he only got 36 shots in that one, 43,100. So I'm paying down $7,100 for that. You by highlighting him again, what makes this show so great and what we do is, again, I didn't know that. Now I know that, but it lines up perfectly for the DFS slates. He may not be somebody you bet on, but he's somebody that can help you win money on the DFS side, which is the difference between betting and DFS. And for more information like that, we can always talk about that in the subs only Discord at Dr. Roto. Hell yeah, dude. I love it. So is there anything else you want to talk about the main event before we move on to a few more picks?
No, not really, man. This card is actually more exciting than last week's.
I agree. I think that some of the action that we're going to get on this card is exactly what we needed. Even the heavyweight fight with Aspelin and Petrino, it's going to be a banger, and we just need to go to distance.
I agree, and Charles Johnson and Bruno Silva. I love that fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely. I love Silva as well as a DFS look. I think he can beat Johnson, but I do love Johnson. I love Johnson's work. In last fight, he just got caught.
Yeah.
Right. And Alex Perez is good. I think a lot of people forgot that he's actually that good. And he caught him. And for the rest of the first round, Johnson tried to recoup himself. He couldn't. It was over. Johnson goes the distance. I think there's a good chance that Johnson can outstrike Bruno Silva. So therefore, that's definitely puts Johnson in a position to win. But I like Silva going the distance as well too, or maybe an early knockout, because for me in DFS, that's a fade that I'm willing to take.
Yeah, and on this fight, we got the battle of the old dudes, man. We got Brad Tavares and Eric Anders.
Oh man, I'm staying so far away from that fight on the betting side.
I love that fight because Brad Tavares can throw down, Eric Anders can throw down, but Brad Tavares doesn't finish people. Eric Anders does.
That's going to be a fun fight. I'll probably have the under on that.
So that fight's going to be fun to me. Those are two of the people that I like watching fight.
Oh yeah, and I agree with Tavares. I love his activity as well too. So it's definitely going to make that fight fun. And so that's what this whole card has. We have a bunch of like really good boxers, as opposed to like maybe like other than like Robertson and Lebos kind of being like Holloway and Oliveira last week. We have a nice matchups this week. This is going to be entertaining card. And of course, Vegas loves blood. Vegas loves damage. So the fighters know that going in, they're going to have to put some damage out there. So that's where I say that I feel that, the Robinson side, we should definitely be really safe on that side as well too. Which brings me up to Robinson on the DFS side. Robinson on DraftKings is 86, if I'm right. She is 8,600. And like I said earlier, her last 4 fights alone, you can even go back. 107, 100, 102, 105, 36, 105, 95, 29, 116. Even when she loses, she gets like under 20, but most of the time in what she's been on, I'm taking that money, and that's why she's big. But I love that 86. They could have made her 9,000, honestly. So I think for the respect for Lemos is what dragged that down, but she's a key to my DFS lineup. And as you saw, the simulator had Robertson in their lineup as well too.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get to some NFL free agency talk, because we got the draft, we're going to be going to the draft in Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that. Let's get to the Parlay of Pain. Ooh, yeah. We got leg one. Play this. It's a 5-leg parlay. You round robin this. You don't play 2 units or 3 units on the round robin, because that's going to cost you a lot of money. But if it goes 5-0, you will be our rich friend. Let's get to it. Line one. We're going Rodriguez, money line, -162. I love the action. The women have not been kind to the Parlay of Pain for a couple weeks now, but we're going to run it back and we're going to distance. No, for both fighters, -168 brings the Parlay of Pain second leg up to a +150.
Oh man, you're cutting out, bro. Oh man, well, I'm stuck. I don't know if I'm still on. Rob cut out. He was getting to the Parlay of Pain. I have no idea about it. Hopefully he'll be back on soon, but we could talk about football. if you're, I can't see who's in the chat because he runs it. And comment if you want to talk about something, please. All right. Yeah, his I don't know about his parlay of pain, but we'll make one right now. Who do you guys have winning in these fights? Nobody. Nobody's gonna comment. All right. I need a little help. Help me out, guys. All right.
All right, I think I'm back. It looks like we lost a couple people. That just happens. It kicked Dan out completely, and so I'm back. I don't know. The whole site went down, but anyway, I was in the middle. As Dan comes back in, we'll definitely get this going. So I was in the middle of the parlay of pain. So we had Rodriguez money line negative 162. Sosa distance no for the fight. Both fighters negative 168. Sousa distance no negative 164. We have Rahiki knockout in sub plus 100. I think Rahiki knows the way, and Rahiki is going to show us the way. He's going to show us the way to knock out in sub plus 100. Brings in the welcome back. Dan's coming back in. Brings the parlay of pain to a plus 730. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
What's up, man? Why'd this kick us out, bro?
I don't know what happened. At least we got back in, it happens. I'll be able to cut that part out, whatever it is. But I was actually at the Rahiki. I got knockout sub plus 100. It brings it up to a plus 730. And then I have the end of it, Jose Delgado, knockout in points, negative 195, parlay of pain, 5 legs, plus 1156. Again, we're putting that down. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm looking at. I feel really good about this week. I think we could definitely go 4-1 or 5-0 on this. And how do you like it?
I only heard the last 3, but I like it. I trust you, man. I trust you with the parlay of pain. You don't miss with it, man.
Last week I was 2-2 because one of them dropped out of the fight. So that only made it 2-2, but the one I hit
last week does not count. We did not do a real show for the fights.
You're right, but I will give it up though. We were profitable. I would have said overall it was one of those track weeks. I only had 3 lineups for each going in because a lot of my action was done before I went in for surgery. So I went 1-3 on both sites for my lineups. So, again, there was just some upsets, the upsets that I targeted that just didn't work out for us. But let's to end off on a crazy point. I feel really good about this card. I think I'm going to go 14-0. I don't think I will, but I feel that I can put out a 10-4 or 11-3 and continue the consistency that we do for the money line. Also, the 5-tastic picks. I already have the DFS portion finished. I already know where I'm going. That's going to come up. The 5-tastic picks went 3-2 last week overall on the finishes, and that was in the subs only Discord. So we returned money, and that's what means the most. Is that so? Overall, the Parlay of Pain going 2-2 returned 80% of the money, and then I returned 130% going 3-2 for the Parlay of Pain, or the 5-tastic picks.
So, nice. I mean,
not bad.
Not gonna lie, like I said, I don't count last week as a real show because we did zero homework, zero. You told me that day, like, yo, let's go on.
Want to do it?
Yeah, let's go on and talk. All right, I'll talk.
Yeah, and I mean, we did a review show, we did the hard hits review, and we did that all at once.
I picked everything with my heart on that show. I didn't pick anything with my brain. Everything was by heart.
Hey, that's what makes shows like that sometimes. And again, these picks are for entertainment purposes as well, but we have a lot of fight theory behind them. We show the fight theory, what this fighter does, if this is possible for this fighter, if it's possible, is it worth going in on? And we always feel strongly, and we always seem to dominate with a lot of these fights, especially the fights that we cover all the time. Even on the weeks, we get picks a little wacky, but we still dominate the finishes.
Yeah, but we didn't do that last week. We didn't do it last week. Yep. I didn't break down any fight last week. We just talked about every fight.
Truly. All right, well, let's get to the end of the show, and then we'll get up on out of here. We're going to keep everybody's time. But, of course, you being a Steeler fan, right before the show went live, Kyler Murray signed with the Minnesota Vikings. Love it. Between him and J.J. McCarthy, maybe they got a quarterback for a whole season.
maybe. But, maybe they have one quarterback on the roster between those two.
So a lot of people, I've heard people going back and forth about Pittsburgh making these moves for Rico Dowdle and Michael Pittman. First of all, as a fan, how do you feel about the moves?
I love both the moves because we lost the other running back.
Gainwell?
Yeah, we lost Gainwell, and he was the team MVP, but I love having him. He'll be more like what Gainwell did this year, and I still think Jaylen Warren's going to be our lead back, which he should be. I think he's the most underrated back in the league.
I agree,
and I absolutely love the pickup at receiver. I absolutely love it. We needed a number one guy because if he's our number one guy, the number two guy can be DK, and DK can move around and do what he does.
Yeah.
We needed enough. So we have two stud receivers on the ends. We still got our stud tight ends, and we still got crazy good running backs, and I can't wait for Will Howard to get behind all of them.
I know. You love Will Howard. You're definitely a Will Howard guy. Doc last talked about him. He didn't like Will Howard. He said that anybody looks good in the systems where he comes from. And so it's still the jury's out, but he's got to get time. And we already know that Aaron Rodgers most likely will be coming back with Mike McCarthy coming in as head coach to coach this team that can definitely have a chance to win the Super Bowl and still has some money left to spend, but hasn't spent anything yet. So I think that,
and you forgot they got Dean. They got a number two corner.
Yeah.
Opposite of JPJ. So we got JPJ and Dean on the corners. Ramsey at safety, Elliott at safety, and we got what's his name at slot? Oh, they
Is that what
just
I can expect?
they just signed him. His dad played too. I forget his name.
Yeah, that one I didn't look. Is it Winfield? It's not Winfield, is it?
No, it's not Winfield.
No, I haven't looked at the other
Apologize.
guys that you guys have picked up. I wanted to look that, but
He
while you,
played.
while,
He played for us last year. Let me look it up.
while you look that up, I'll talk about some of this. So Rico Dowdle's coming off of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, one in Dallas, one in Carolina, where he was disrespected. Not only in Dallas, but that Dallas offense is a passing offense, still overlooked. He went to Carolina to back up Chuba Hubbard. Hubbard goes down. In steps Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle is amazing. Looks like you got that, so pop in. Who's the guy you're talking about?
Asante Samuel Jr.
Oh, yeah. Asante Samuel. Yep. Daddy played for the Patriots.
Yeah, we still got him at the slot. So
Yeah.
that back end looks mean.
Yeah. They need Elliott to not get hurt like that he did last year. But injuries happen, and the way your team set it up with Dean, I love it. I'll even bring up the Rams for a few seconds. Brett
Bro,
McDuffie,
they're looking good. They're looking good.
They're pulling it. They got rid. They re-signed Higbee, got a discount for him. We needed to get rid of, and I could kind of see it. We gave all that money away to, what was his name? I can't even remember, but he just signed with somebody today. And we gave him money 2 years ago. And as I get a brain fart right now, he didn't perform to what Tutu Atwell. We drafted him. He didn't perform the way he should have. And now he's gone. I feel that like Mumfield stepped in and provided a better role. And so that's going to be the Rams. The Rams were confident with that going forward. Also, but Trent McDuffie isn't the best corner in the league, but he's a good corner. DFS wise, IDP wise for fantasy football, you're looking 5-6 tackles a game. If your league credits, defended passes, he's always in play for that. He's always around the ball. He's shown that in his years over with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's played the best of the best, had to deal with the best of the best. So when you bring in somebody that's dealt with that for the last few, more than 4 years, is practically his whole career so far, that he's definitely a great fit for the Rams. But back to the Steelers.
No. Wait a minute. With the Rams, you guys signed one of the best special teams players in the league. You can't forget that in Grant Stewart off the Lions. Yeah. You guys just signed him. He's one of the best special teams players in the league. And that's what
killed us last year.
And that is a big pickup for the Rams.
Yeah, the muffed punts by Scott, that's what killed us. And that's another guy that showed up but then showed out when he spit that ball up against Seattle and pretty much put the game out. So yeah, no, the Rams have been highly talked about, even though they haven't. They didn't need to make any moves on offense. They just needed to shore up the line and get strong at cornerback. We're going into the draft. We still have the 13th overall pick. We're set up good. We signed Nate Landman to a nice long contract that gives him confidence going into the season. I don't like our linebacker depth, but I'm going to take that right now with the Rams.
I understand about not liking linebacker depth, especially inside linebacker. We got nobody on inside linebacker.
Yeah, it's you guys need someone like a fast cover guy. That's what you need.
And we don't. We don't have. We have Patrick Queen, and he's been a ball. No, he's not. No, he's not. He doesn't stop the run.
Bad plays.
No, he makes tackles. He's a tackler. So Patrick Queen flies around and makes tackles after someone gets 5 yards.
That's right, dude. It's crazy the way that the guys are just set up, but you're right. And there's those games he'll only get like one tackle, and you're like, man, what's wrong with you, man? You're supposed to be like, you're supposed to like come with more gusto. That's what you guys brought him there for. And he's out there do. So I do like that. But Rico Dowdle, last year he was able to do what's that?
I said I love that pickup. I love the pickup.
A lot of people don't give him credit right? But in his last 2 seasons, both with the Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers, he had 99 targets. He turned 39 receptions, and he put out, actually, even though Gainwell was good, Gainwell getting those the 80 targets last year, Gainwell was under 6 yards, about 5-6 yards. Actually, I have it right here. Gainwell put out a 6.7 on his receptions. So 73 receptions, 6.7. Dowdle was better. Dowdle looks more explosive. Dowdle said before these contract negotiations took place that he felt disrespected at the end of the season when Chuba Hubbard came back and he watched his numbers drop off. He did not like that. So therefore, he has the opportunity to be the lead back, which puts Jaylen Warren back where he needs to be in the third down back and in between the tackles runner. Now you guys have somebody to finish runs, not, hey, let's hope Jonnu Smith can run it in from the 3. We don't need that. You don't need that with somebody hungry like Hubbard.
I don't need a handoff to a tight end ever again.
Hubbard.
Ever again.
Yeah, Dowdle, I meant.
Yeah. There's no handoff to tight ends ever again in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I hated Arthur Smith there, and we talked about that many a times through it. So brings me to Michael Pittman. This guy constantly gets it done. So my prediction is practically, I was looking at his numbers in this way, and Michael Pittman's been one of my favorite receivers, late round receivers in seasonal fantasy football. And, that content is why we're so good at Dr. Roto, and it's picks like this that are so good. That what I was doing when I put him into my simulator, I projected 115 targets, 85 catches, 6 touchdowns, were 1,088 yards. I went back and it looked like his 2021 season. I was like, if the Steelers, get the 20, and now after that, of course, we all know that they just never like to feed Pittman. And even like at the end, once Daniel Jones went down, it was all Alex Pierce. They give the money to Alex Pierce. Pierce is not a number 1, so the joke's on the Colts. This is why bad organizations make bad plays. You guys were able to get him for a fraction.
For a 7th round pick. Well, 6th round pick. And they gave us a 7th and him.
Yeah, and he works. And I don't care that, that him and DK can be, and that they're almost kind of that same similar type of receiver. But Pittman's a big boy and he plays like a thin guy. He's 6'4". He's still going to be a long ball threat. Now that gives you something that you didn't have last year because all the long balls went to short ass receivers that are as tall as me and it went over their head. That's not his thing. And then DK fights too much. Go on.
And he's not scared to go over the middle either.
No.
So
and he stays healthy too.
Yeah, he stays healthy. He's not scared to go over the middle. And now, finally, with someone calling the plays, we will get throws over the middle. For the last 6 years, there has been maybe 10 plays over the middle in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
That's right. And the thing is that's because you guys went away with Arthur Smith. You went away from what was working with Freiermuth, which has been a big problem. Freiermuth, a lot of fans like yourself said, where the hell did he go? This is supposed to be a Pro Bowl tight end. He's like your Jason Witten, and we're just going to disregard him for a year and bring in Jonnu Smith. And that was when I saw you guys were like, all right, bye, Jonnu. That was the key right there. That was the key that's saying Arthur Smith was done with. We're done with that shit. So that's me.
Arthur Smith, Matt Canada, and the guy before Matt Canada. No one remembers his name. They could all kick rocks. See ya.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad, dude.
It was not. There was no offense in Pittsburgh for a long time, and hopefully we get it this year. And hopefully, I wouldn't mind if we get Aaron Rodgers back. Not gonna mind at all. But if we don't, I definitely want to see what Will Howard has.
I agree with that. And before we get out of here, so why I bring up Rico Dowdle, and I probably have more insight. I feel I have more insight than most people because I think people overlook what the Steelers really do, and I think that they let numbers get in their heads. And I know what the Steelers do. They love to run the ball. if you give, and there's no reason Dowdle should get 80 targets like Gainwell did last year. But
No.
if you give him 60, he's about 75% catch rate on that. 60 would then put him around 45 catches, around 50 catches. And I'm saying right now, you're getting that. You're looking at getting Dowdle late in the draft for 1,000 yards. But I do feel that you're going to end up having to have Jalen Warren if you take that, because you're going to need a backup. Although Dowdle has been solid. I had him, he's been on, I drafted him, and he was on my championship team for my dynasty team the last 2 years. When you put out over 1,000 yards on the ground and around 400 yards in the air, and you're getting at least 6-7 touchdowns, when you have the option to do that and nobody cares about you, that's a steal. And that's the same way that you guys have that. And that's the same way Freiermuth's going to be a steal again this year, because everybody's going to be down. You're going to feel people that are going to watch this podcast and say that Heat Override's right. And the reason why people like Heat Override are right is because we have friends like you, and we have wives that watch Steeler games. We actually watch game tape, and we knew what was wrong with the Steelers the past 2 years, and we know it fixes them. And with the Steelers right now are fixed regardless.
6 years. Past 6 years.
Yeah. You're grabbing everybody. You're just grabbing everybody.
Yeah.
So I like it.
And with that whole thing, man, you figure we didn't have a quarterback since Ben.
Yeah.
Until last year. Aaron Rodgers played great.
Yep.
For an old man. He played great for an old man. But we need some young blood in there, and we don't. I don't want another turncoat 1 year quarterback in here.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers comes back, great, because he's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
If they sign some run of the mill old guy like Kirk Cousins,
oh gee,
I don't want Kirk Cousins. Nobody in Pittsburgh wants
40-year-old quarterbacks.
Yeah, nobody wants Kirk Cousins. I would rather see what Will Howard has. If he doesn't have it, start Skylar Thompson. We still have Skylar Thompson on the roster. Start Skylar Thompson. Make Will Howard the backup, and get rid of Mason Rudolph. He's been a bum since day one.
I agree with that. It's time for those game managing quarterbacks, and he's not a good game managing quarterback. He's very average and at times bad.
He can't he can't manage the line. He doesn't know how to manage the line.
He's kind of like a wimp.
Yeah, he sees no defense. He doesn't call his own plays. He doesn't call audibles. It's terrible. It's terrible. He'll call.
It is.
He says hut and does nothing with it. He's won. What? He won 2 games because no one had any tape on him.
Yeah.
3 years ago. And Pittsburghers love him.
Yeah. I used to be on the Rudolph train, but the thing is after you see it for a while, you're like, he's just a regular dude. Nothing exciting, no reason to put time in.
Yeah, there's nothing exciting about him. He can't run. His arm's not strong. He's not accurate. He's just a run of the mill quarterback.
I agree with all of that, man. And that's why I wanted to talk just the Steelers, because you give that idea. There's people in this industry that don't believe in hot streaks, and those people in this industry don't see why fight theory makes a difference for UFC fights, for what we do in this show, why it's a big part of why fight theory and finishes are a big part of what we do, different than anybody else really does, in talking the way and breaking down the fighters and exploiting them and trying to exploit those finishes. That's the same way we're looking at these these moves. With you guys said, okay, we weren't deep. We just have regular dudes back there. We brought somebody that's hungry, Rico Dowdle. I'm telling people, if that man is as hungry as he was before he signed that contract, when he got benched, when Herbert came back, You want a player like that on your team.
Yep.
Also, I love the fact that Michael Pittman can finally go to a team that will focus on him as a wide receiver and not forget about him as a wide receiver, because when he was focused on, he flourished. And it wasn't until like when Daniel Jones went down, they stopped using him, like I said earlier. I can't take that.
Dude, that Michael Pittman pickup was huge, because we have not had a number 2 receiver or number 1 receiver in the last 4 years.
Yeah. I still think that's going to be a problem for Washington. They're going to have to cover those guys. Pittman's a big boy, and Metcalf's a big boy, and then you got big boy coming down the middle when he catches that swing pass out of the thing. So I do like him backing up Freiermuth as well.
And you got Washington coming out of the backfield, coming out off the line. You got Washington and Freiermuth. Who do you pick? Choose the double one person.
Yeah, there's too much for people to handle, dude. Too much. You guys did kind of what the Rams did. You took kind of like the Rams leeway and you kind of just made it to where it goes. And we're going to see that with Kenneth Walker and the Kansas City Chiefs this year, because the Chiefs love to run the ball. Running the ball has always been a big, huge part of Andy Reid's game plan and setting up his play actions pass, which sets up Patrick Mahomes to also scramble, but also bootleg out and set those plays up. But now they got to respect him. They got to respect that this was the best move for the Chiefs. But I wanted to, again, focus on the Steelers, focus on what they did, talk about a few of the other hits, but, focus on what makes a team better, the moves, that you make, not like the Jets, who completely went out and got an amazing defense and look like they will have an amazing defense, only to go, hey, let's bring in Geno Smith. And then people are going online going, hey, who's going to stop this offense? And I'm like, Smith?
Everyone?
Yeah. Like, you can't win in today's NFL like that, dude. You got to have an offense. You got to be able to score.
Yeah, and that was the Steelers' problem for a long time. They couldn't score.
I agree with that. All right, before we get out of here, I want to hear a crazy factor. Is it crazy that I placed first place in a tennis matchup and that I won pretty big last week on golf? Or does that go to the team around me making me prepared to be good at this stuff?
I think for the last week you've had too much time on your hands, because you've been on the couch and you've been watching whatever and researching whatever. So I don't think anything is crazy for you.
That's awesome. That's probably the best answer you could have gave. You answered both questions effectively while putting it back onto me, and exactly like, dude, you on the couch. No wonder why he'd overrides watching tennis.
Yeah.
But dude, the fact is, like, I'm nailing this. I'm like, how is it? And really what it is, it just goes to the formula. And when I speak about it, there's really not a lot of people that do what I do when it comes to lineup building for DFS lineups. I can literally step into a sport and use the numbers and do it. And so for those numbers, I'm learning aces and wins and losses for the sets. Like now I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I'm just looking for like, kind of what's going on. So, just one of those things that now an option in subs only Discord is Dr. Roto. It's freaking tennis, dude. How?
Because of you.
Yeah. That's right. Just shows that when you want to bring the pain to anything in life, if you do it with your heart and you do it with what you're used to, aka my methods, my building methods, my numbers, the way I run my numbers, my models, and just the wasabi that I go about it. When you have that, and that's what we teach at Dr. Roto, that can always set you up for success in any sport. And that's what I always strive. That's all that matters to me. I have said it crazy ass stuff before. And I said, I would rather a lot of people win money off of a bet that we suggest rather than me win a lot of money off this, because I'm not putting up as much money as a lot of these other people. If it changes their life, I'm happy for them. For me, I'm going to stick to what we do best. And that's breaking fights down, giving out numbers, and giving people that opportunity and ourselves to make money.
Yeah. So I got a question for you.
Yes.
Next month at the draft.
Yes.
Do we go live from the draft?
I don't think we could do a live Fight Club of Pain and give out picks from the draft, but we can go live from the draft
on our phones. That's what I mean.
Yes,
we can go live from the draft.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to be those people dressed up in the front.
No, I'm not being a guy dressed up in the front.
Wearing huge Steeler necklaces, sweaty neck by the end of the day. Can't take a peek.
No.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. Also, I brought up the Scott Fish Bowl 16 just announced. They're doing video game themes. This is like hitting my hearts to all that. I did Buffalo last year. I gotta look at the dates, gotta look at the tournament dates. But if the Pittsburgh date works,
if you come to Pittsburgh, I'm going with you.
You are going with me. You go, and it's free. It's always free. It's a free venue. I just gotta tell them who's coming along with me, and we show up. I draft the team just like I did last year, and I almost made it. I thought last 2 weeks the Mahomes injury was the final nail in the coffin, but it just happens. But I'm always competitive in that league, and I love being a part of it. And that's an honor from Scott Fish and in Fantasy Cares, just being able to put on this free fantasy football leagues and bring all these people from around the world with one goal in mind, and that is to support the cause of everything, whether it be for toys, for tots, things like that. What really means the most in life? There's no fees. And I always make sure when there's like a tournament for they have a WrestleMania tournament coming up, probably $15, $10, $5 to enter. I'll enter it just because I know that money goes for donation and you can write that off on your taxes, but it's about what's giving. It's about the fun, the challenge that you could do with this, that you could do. So for me, that's all the stuff. Of course, the Fantasy Football Expo will be drafting in the Luke Kuechly division. We'll be there in person on Saturday night. Everything is going to run a little earlier than we did last year, but we're staying the night and we'll be able to have fun all day.
All night. We'll be there all night.
We literally, if I book this, I'll go look. And I choose Pittsburgh, and I can get into the Pittsburgh live draft. We'll be in Pittsburgh for the NFL draft. We'll be in Pittsburgh for the Scott Fish Bowl 16 live draft, and we will be in Canton, Ohio, ready to bring the pain to the Fantasy Football Expo once again. Dan, this is what we do, and sooner or later we're going to get to a UFC event.
Let's go, dude! As soon as one comes close, like Ohio, Pittsburgh, we're going.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm excited for it, man. All right, everybody, let's get up on here. Dan, thanks for coming through. I'm happy I was able to last this long. Definitely doped up on medicines. Actually got better, but all right, everybody, get over to the Dr. Roto. Check out the free podcast. Check out all the content. Follow Dr. Roto on YouTube, the X, and Facebook. Follow Bring the Pain on the YouTube, X, and Facebook as well. And man, let's win some money, people. Have a great day, and always remember to bring the pain.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.